Hi, a warm welcome and thank you for being here with me. My name is Werringloer. I'm a medical doctor, naturopath, and international trainer for positive psychotherapy. I work with patients with physical and mental pain, using osteopathy and acupressure for relaxing muscle and fascia tension and deblocking vertebra. Positive psychotherapeutic life coaching for easing emotional pain and overcoming mental obstacles, bringing balance back to life so they can live their life freely again. In whatever difficult situation you may be at this moment, this video is meant to be a chance to reflect on your life and find new meaningful ways out of your current situation. I'm very grateful to my teacher Nosrat Pezeshkian, the founder of Positive Psychotherapy, who helped me overcome my personal difficulties and find my life fulfillment. Let's see if Positive Psychotherapy can help you too. Nosrat Pezeshkian used to ask us, what would you prefer sharing, an apple or an idea? If we share an apple, we can all have a taste of the apple, but the more we are, the less we get. On the other hand, if we share an idea, we can all have an entire idea. And if it's a good one, all of mankind can benefit from it. So let's share the idea of positive psychotherapy. So, getting what you really want is the topic of the day. And Nosrat used to say, if you want something you've never had, you have to do something you've never done before. So let's get off of our couch, leave our potato chips behind, and get out of our comfort zone, just like this kid doing his capoeira, energized with enthusiasm. Knowing what you're looking for. You are what your deepest desire is. As is your desire, so is your intention. As is your intention, so is your will. As is your will, so is your deed. As is your deed, so is your destiny. Upanishads. If you want to get what you really want, you have to open your gate to fantasy. What did you dream of as a kid? What as a teenager and young adult? What dreams are still left? What is it you want to have achieved at the end of your life? How do you want your family and friends to remember you when you depart from this world? So start now and remember, when you sow potatoes, you get potatoes. When you sow tomatoes, you get tomatoes. Don't expect tomatoes when you sow potatoes. Knowing what you're looking for is also being in balance with life, being in the flow. And at the core of all our desires lays the desire for happiness as an indicator for our life fulfillment. Happiness is finding inner peace through harmony within ourselves on a path towards our higher goals while taking joy in life. And it's not just living an externally peaceful life, but often when, like this surfer, riding the waves in the midst of the biggest difficulties, excitement all around, he finds his center, is in balance with everything. Ivan Kirillov calls this stress surfing. We can also call it life surfing. How to get what we really want. Herefore, we have the three basic principles of positive psychotherapy. First of all, the principle of hope with a positive conception of life and oneself. We get hope through believing in ourselves and loving ourselves and the world around us. How do we do that? Through opening our eyes to whom we really are and what really is. In the simplest of descriptions, the creative force of life in continuous evolution with all its multiple aspects. Positive psychotherapy comes from the Latin word positum, the given, the real. It's not about putting on pink sunglasses, but seeing all the beauty and all the difficulties and all the possibilities around us. And there are way more beauty and possibilities around than we believe, especially when we're caught up in hate and despair. Our vision and motivation coming from our desires and personal strengths also give us energy to look into the future. The principle of balance is about the balance within ourselves, our personality, and in life. We can say the factors for our inner and outer resilience, laying within ourselves as our core values, personal capabilities, and positive inner representations, and without ourselves as the four dimensions of life and how we choose to live them, with strong health, a meaningful and empowering professional life, fun and sustaining social relationships, and a motivating and inspiring spiritual and creative life. These are like the axis and the spokes of a wheel. If the axis is weak, it can break. And if the spokes are not equilibrated, the wheel will hobble. Let's take care of them. The third principle is the principle of consultation, with the 5 steps of conflict resolution we will see later on. Conflicts are inevitable. They are also a source of growth. Everything is changing and developing. Nothing is perfect and finished. So we have to adapt and solve conflicts constantly, not deny them. Now let's get a bit more into detail. The principle of hope and positive conception of life and ourselves is nothing more and nothing less than believing in ourselves through opening our eyes and knowing who we really are. In the very simplest of ways, we can say the creative force of life and continuous evolution. We are the flowers of life, blooming for ourselves and others, rising above ourselves from moment to moment, growing day by day in our capacities of love and comprehension. Positive psychotherapy says humans are intrinsically, as to say, in their core, good, and conflicts are our source of growth. A conflictive personality, explained in a simplified way, is based on emotional wounds and imbalance, immaturity in the personality structure. We all have the capability to heal, get into balance with ourselves and life, and keep evolving, and often it is simpler than we believe. Vision and motivation as energy and enthusiasm to go into the future is based on our desires and personal capabilities. We have to know what we really desire in life, so we can go and get it and live it. Ask yourself the following questions. What is it that you really, really want? What is your innermost desire? What makes you feel belonging to something bigger than yourself? Gives you meaning and even a sensation of inevitability? What gives you a sense of ownership and mastery? What are your talents that you can grow into excellence, where you feel you have a rapid learning curve? What you really want is often what you really know how to do. What is it that makes success feel self-rewarding, makes you feel energized instead of exhausted, getting you into the flow even for hours and days? The second principle, the principle of balance. Balance within ourselves, our personality, and our life isn't always simple. Surely not a piece of cake. There are always difficulties. When the going gets tough, tough gets the going. But when it gets too much, then reduce to the max. Don't overburden yourself. We have to create our own resilience through finding balance and flexibility. Nosrat always said, it's not so bad to fall down as long as you get up again. Take self-responsibility. Self-empower yourself. Be like a Weeble. Those little toy dolls that you can knock over, but will always get up again. Setbacks are feedback, not failure. And be solution-oriented. Don't knock your head against the wall again and again. Get yourself a detailed map with your goal on it. The more detailed, the better. Never lose your goal out of sight. Solve your problems, go around it, under it, or over it. If a path doesn't work for you anymore, try another one. If the goal doesn't belong to you anymore, try to find a new one. The pessimist always sees the problem and the opportunity. The optimist, the opportunity, and the problem. Always remember, it's not about putting on pink glasses, but your clear view and attitude. The pessimist always says, the problem is here to stay. It's really dominating everything, and it's my fault. The optimist, on the other hand, says, the problem is temporary. It's only one of the many parts of life, and I, or better, we, will manage it. Don't be the monkey covering his ears, eyes, and mouth. Be a proactive optimist. Next to the balance within ourselves, we have to take care of our balance in life. The balance within our four dimensions of life: body health, professional life, social life, and spiritual and creative life. These four dimensions are our resources. We find sustenance, happiness, and self-esteem in every one of them. They are our resilience, our four pillars on which we can rely on if they are taken care for well, giving us the possibility of taking refuge in them when times get tough. For example, when we have difficulties in our professional life, to take refuge with our friends and talk about our problems. Take refuge in our spiritual life and use our creative ideas and future plans to find a solution to the problems. And if we have a strong health on which we can rely on, we will probably get away with a headache from the situation and nothing more. The important part is to not make taking refuge an escape reaction, and only hiding there and gossiping with friends, religious fantasies, and psychosomatics. We have to solve our problems in the area in which they originated. In this case, our professional life. The four areas of life are our four dimensions of flourishing, thriving, blossoming, becoming who we really are. For blooming life, we were given our health by our parents, nature, God. We have to take care of it self-responsibly, getting the tasty nutrition we need, sleep and relaxation for elaborating the past events, and recuperating from mental and physical stress, to get strength and energy through sports, find pleasure in our body through sexuality and aesthetics. In our professional life, we want to grow our competences out of our talents, find a profession with meaning, or give our profession a meaning, have a real professional team that works flexibly together, in which everyone can give their best. We want to also receive the remuneration for material security, taking care of our family and realizing ourselves in our free time. In our social life, it is important to develop emotional stability and not to explode or fall into despair at the slightest complication. Furthermore, we need the capability to make and maintain contacts through socializing and communication skills, have family and friends, laugh and cry, and have fun with, counselors and role models that help us in moments of crisis, and of course, humor, which is the salt of life, and if you're salted well, you'll stay fresh longer. Our spiritual and creative life is important too. Connecting to the all, to life, to God, the mother lode with meditation and prayer, basing our lives on our spiritual values and giving us roots in life. Also creating a vision of our life, developing our desires and capabilities into our motivating future perspectives, using our creativity and optimism for coloring it and giving it energy, and last but not least, being solution-oriented, keeping our eyes and mind open for a better way. So one more important fact, our 4 dimensions are not only inborn but mostly grown. So practice them regularly as your daily practice. You'll find life fulfillment through keeping them strong and in balance and enjoying them mindfully with appreciation. Now look at your personal 4 dimensions. How much energy are you putting into each one? And how much life satisfaction are you getting from them? How do you feel about them? And what do you want to change? Another part of the principle of balance is finding our balance between process orientation and goal orientation. If we take only our path as our goal, meandering around and getting lost, we might be missing the sense of our life and feel lost and sad. On the other hand, if we work ourselves to death, we might die without having lived and fall into despair. But we always have the alternative, being on a route towards our life's goals and enjoying every step of the way. We now get to the 3rd principle of positive psychotherapy, the principle of consultation. As we said, conflicts are unavoidable and give us personal growth. So let's use them, using the 5 steps of conflict resolution. When we get into conflict, we can first go into observation distancing, taking a step back, really listening to ourselves and the other with all our faculties, so we can capture the whole picture, not only see trees, but the whole woods. When we have heard the other person out, we can then go to making an inventory, asking precise questions and going profoundly into the detail as to gain wider understanding, mapping the whole situation with its beauty, difficulties, and possibilities. The 3rd step follows then as situational encouragement, with appreciation of the person, his efforts, and the positive sides of the situation, creating connection and also good feelings, celebrating them. In verbalization, we then can go into expressing honestly and courteously what is important to us, our desires and difficulties, still staying connected but assertive. Creating new motivating goals as energy for the future is the last step, is our broadening of goals. This may even carry you and your partner through life, to your destiny. And remember, starting a war is like cutting through a knot instead of untying it. In conflict resolution, the attitude with which we meet our counterpart also plays a major role. So check your personal attitude and mentality. Do you rather tend towards a submissive basic attitude, giving way in the sense of, I want to please have harmony and peace? Or towards a destructive basic attitude with force at its basis, I want to convince, I want to be right and win? Or is it your intention to meet the other with a constructive basic attitude, with collaboration and diplomacy? I want to understand using mental understanding and empathy. I want to communicate what's important to me using honesty and courtesy. I want to respect myself and the other using balance, justice, and love, and find a substantial compromise using the logic and creativity that all conflict parties can bring into the conflict, bringing at best a new solution that goes beyond compromise. Check your attitude and find out that collaboration and diplomacy really get you on the fast track. Understand, communicate, respect, and compromise. We now get to the end of getting what you really want, and it's up to you what you make out of it. Remember, everyone is his own luck's blacksmith, as long as he's not afraid of touching a hot iron. Some last suggestions to make your voyage more fruitful. Meditate or pray every evening and make a resume in gratitude of all the beautiful and challenging aspects of the day, making them a tool of your personal development. Then write them down the next morning, including the inspiring and once and again difficult tasks that lay ahead of you during the day. You will find that with time you will become a more and more grateful and conscious person, living out your life in all your beauty. See you again with Positive Psychotherapy. Make it your daily practice. Thank you for listening. I wish you the prosperous life you deserve and can create for yourself. Get passionate about your life. Thank you and see you.